It's not California. It's Canada. It's not California. I mean, I have a lot to say. I imagine I will. All right, we'll watch Sydney. We'll watch the. I'm a week late on this, but let me see. All right, it's like I've talked about a portion of this, but it's like it kind of does need to be said. Basically, Canada needs to be shamed for this. I'm doing this because realistically speaking, Canada needs to feel shame for this. Particularly the political parties of Canada need to know shame. We need to bring shaming back, and I'm going to do it and I'm going to try and facilitate it. It's not just the LGBT thing. It's not, there's more. It's basically just showcasing just the state of basically what's happening in Canada politically. So let's do this. Let's buckle up. Buckle up. Gird your lines. This is going to be painful, but we're going to get through it, and we're going to roast the fuck out of these people the entire time. So let's go.
Deal with the ongoing genocide of MMIW G2S LGBTQIA+.
Speaker, I'll again thank delegates not to call me Madam Chair, Madame la Présidente. I'm a non-binary person. My pronouns are...
This person is with the New Democratic Party. They literally just said, don't call me Madam President. I'm a non-binary person. So you're insane, which means you should not have your job. This creature, since they say that they're non-binary, I will call them a creature. This creature should not be in this position. This creature should not have a job. Damn sure shouldn't have a job in politics. I will say this right now. If you are claiming falsely that you are non-binary, you should not be allowed in politics.
I can't handle it.
You should.
So,
oh yes.
she's
Well,
so cute.
there's a filter on this one, I think, which gives us the uncanny valley look. Now, granted, the non-filterized version still looks bad. But I'm sorry, if you're going to okay, I need to restrain myself, otherwise I'm gonna basically blow my load as I, so to speak, within the first 5 seconds. Let's let it cook, and then I'll roast the shit out of her later. And yes, this is a her. I'm not going to call her they, then. This is a her. You are a biological female. You're not even transgender. You're a her. Fucking deal with it. You don't like it. Fuckity bye.
They, them, and their.
How do we keep losing to these people?
Yeah. Well, okay. Sydney, I can tell you how we keep losing to these people. Is because they're importing votes from third world countries, giving them whenever they want, and saying, vote for us, we'll keep giving you free shit. That's how they keep winning, is they basically allow illegal immigrants into the country. They basically import illegal votes in that respect, because they are illegal immigrants. They keep voting them in, and they keep giving them free shit and kickbacks. That's how they keep winning.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And today, baby birds, this video is exclusively sponsored by my company, Lions Tea Exchange. I promise I'll keep this brief, but in addition to tasting really, really good, I have a bunch of fun flavors like root beer, which tastes like actual root beer, raspberry elderflower rosé, white peach, and so on. We use real tea.
Okay, I am now interested. She legit has my attention now. If she has root beer tea that tastes like root beer, I'm interested. I am legit interested in that. If that legit tastes like root beer.
Tea leaves. Everything is made here in the United States. I pack all of your orders myself, so no weird drop shipping. You can get multiple cups of tea out of the one tea bag, or I don't know, I guess you can just make a huge cup. It's up to you. Also, with Mother's Day just around the corner, mums like tea. This is a fact. And soon I will...
When is Mother's Day? Hold up. When's Mother's Day? That's in May, isn't it? It's not in April, is it? God. I don't want to forget to wish my mom happy Mother's Day. Oh yeah, it's on the 10th of May. Okay, we're safe. Okay, I'm safe. It's on May 10th. God, I don't keep track of holidays very well. except for extremely well-known holidays like Christmas and New Year's, and that's about it. I don't track holidays, so pretty much every other holiday except for birthdays like sneak up on me. And I was like, oh God, please tell me I didn't forget about Mother's Day. Raina, thank you for the subby. Thank you, Raina.
We'll have a Mother's Day bundle on the website, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Of course, your support helps the channel tremendously, but consider buying a box just because it's good stuff. It tastes really good, and I know that you will like it. Link in the description box, little baby birds, and let's get back to the video. It does not escape my attention for a minute that we have our own level of incredible stupidity happening here in the United States.
Did they teach you in Sunday school
Yeah.
that Jesus Christ himself was a radical feminist? God is non-binary. We should treat our
I can't. This is what I was talking about, guys. This is what I was talking about earlier. Like, absolute legit criticism regarding Canada, regarding the UK, regarding France, regarding Germany, etc., etc. Absolute legit criticism there. Just don't forget what's happening in your own backyards. Before you go on any mantras of US is the best, just look at what's happening in your own backyards as well. Doesn't make anyone better or worse, but I'm just saying it's happening with you guys too. That's all.
Our southern border like our front porch. There should be a giant welcome mat out front.
I want us all to be aware of is that modern science obviously recognizes that there are many more than two biological sexes. In fact, there are.
This is a government representative. Look at the bottom. This is a representative on the Committee on Public Education. This is a government official deciding public education that literally just said there is quote unquote science that says there is more than two biological sexes. Remove this man from his position immediately. If someone is a government representative, especially for education, and those words come out of their mouth, the Bastard of Arms immediately walk over and go, sir, come with me. You're no longer representative, and should be gone. Instantly should be gone. The minute someone basically lies like that and basically says, I'm about to indoctrinate your children, goodbye. Okay, intersex does exist, but intersex is an apparition. Someone who is intersexed is a mutation, not the biological norm. It doesn't mean that people that are intersexed are not human beings, bear in mind, but to basically use intersexuality as a yardstick for saying that science says there's more than two biological sexes, no. You're wrong. You're a liar. You're trying to indoctrinate children. You should be removed from your position because you are basically trying to create a generation of sociopaths and psychopaths that don't actually understand reality. Point blank. This person should be removed from his position, forcibly if needed.
6.
I know that you guys are very burned out on politics, and honestly, same and fair enough, but I could straight up make an entire video about this guy and the amount of dumb crap that he said. And regrettably, he is a Texan politician who is now running for federal government, so that makes me want to fling myself out a window. But fear not.
Go to the goddamn... Somebody needs to primary his ass. 100%. If that man is trying to run for federal representative, he needs to be primaried. And if you are in Texas and you are within the sound of my voice, and you see James Tallarico, oh God, I recognize that name. Oh, I've heard that name before. He's a fucking psychopath. If you see James Tallarico on the ballot, you need to primary the shit out of him immediately. If you are in Texas and you are in the district where he is trying to basically become a member of federal Congress, you need to primary the fuck out of him. Do not allow that man to be able to control what your children are going to learn.
She's so cute.
Okay, he's running for Senate? Fine. So basically, he needs to be primary. Okay, when it comes time for that, you need to go to the polls and you need to primary his ass and do not allow him to even be on the ballot for running in the Senate. Get him out of there.
For federal government.
He won the primary? Why must you hurt me? Why do you have to hurt me? He won the primary? Wait, oh, is he a Democrat? I thought he was, whoa. Wait, he's a Democrat. I thought he was a Republican. He's a Democrat? Oh, then fuck him. Then throw everything at the Republican candidate. Okay. Oh, he's a Dem. Okay. Then you know what? Throw everything he got to the Republican. Okay. Well, okay, Revan, you say that, but there are some that are there's an outlier here and there. But yeah, okay, so throw everything you got to make sure he doesn't get in. Like everything. Get people out to the polls, make sure you vote for the other person. Do not let this man in to the Senate, because he will destroy your children. Hands down. And thank you, Griffin Knight. Thank you for the 5 gifteds.
That he said. And regrettably, he is a Texan politician who is now running for federal government. So that makes me want to fling myself out a window. But fear not, Christians, because now at least you know that God is non-binary.
I'm a non-binary person. My pronouns are they, them, and their.
God.
I want to get to the point of this video, but I almost forgot. There's this clip as well that popped up on social media where a transgender...
We didn't watch this on stream only because I'd seen it probably half a dozen times from other reactors by the time I got to stream. And I didn't want to rehash it again on my stream when I'd already seen it like 6 different times. This is fucking hilarious. This was absolutely hilarious that this person literally was talking to the judge like he was a Karen. Like, he literally Karened, she, whatever, literally Karened the judge. And the judge said, I don't think so. And then the best part of it is when the prosecuting attorney leans into him with his hands in his pockets and goes, you really need to leave this county. Like, he went old school Wild West and just said, you really ought to leave this town. But he said county. Like, this prosecuting attorney was an absolute fucking chat. Just kept his hands in his pockets, leaned in, and literally said to him, you need to leave this county. That was shortly before the deputies came in and basically face planted this person to the ground and arrested him for contempt of court. Well, this person went full demon screech while being arrested. And shortly after, this person made a social media post saying that they're closing down their practice after being charged for contempt of court. Not long after, they put a post up on social media saying, I'm stepping away and closing my practice. Good fucking consequences. You want to act like an entitled cunt? You get consequences. There we go. So this person's going to be probably fined for contempt of court. Probably spent time in jail. Good. And now they're out of a job. They're not practicing. And I hope to God that people actually contacted the state licensing board, or the oh God, I'm losing oh God, I forgot the word. But I hope that people contacted the bar. Thank you. God, I'm so cooked today. Thank you. I could not get the bar association from my brain to my mouth. Yes, I hope that people contact the state bar association and get this person flat out disbarred, because this person should not be practicing law. They have proven that they do not have the mental temperament to be able to practice law. And so basically it looks good on them. Getting charged for contempt of court, losing their law practice that they claimed they were in practice for 18 years. Looks fucking great on them. Needs to happen to more people like this.
The lawyer decided to argue with a judge and then got held in contempt of court and then screamed, I can't breathe while being arrested.
Georgia?
And also called for a woman police officer because there were too many men.
If I push
Yes. So he says, I'm a transgender. He pointed out, I'm a transgender lawyer. So he's obviously was it Oklahoma? Okay. said he's basically presenting as a transgender male. Okay? But of course, when he's getting arrested, demands a female officer. When he was getting arrested by the deputies, he demanded, I want a female deputy. And they went, we don't got none, deal with it. And they just basically ignored him and kept going. It was fucking brilliant. Because, of course, now that he's in trouble, oh, now I want you to treat me special. I want a female lawyer, even though I'm saying I'm a transgender male. I want a female, or a deputy, sorry, not lawyer. I want a female deputy. Yet he pulled the I can't breathe line, screaming, I can't breathe. By the way, chat, if you have the breath to scream, you can breathe. If you can, when you can't breathe, you actually can't talk. So if you're talking, or in this case, screaming, you can breathe just fine. Yeah, he wanted to be treated, wanted to be treated like a man. Couldn't handle being treated like a man.
Maybe because I'm a transgender attorney practicing all over the state.
I don't know what you are.
You do, ma'am. It's not that you do. Why?
Because you're in direct contempt of court.
He shouted at me.
Again, the judge just told him, you're in contempt of court. And his response, why? He immediately defaulting to a Karen/child. Like basically saying, I don't care that you're a judge. You have no authority over me. Like, what's so funny, the judge, the entire time they fight with him, the judge was chilling behind her desk. The judge was just sitting there behind her desk, just watching the whole damn time. Just taking in the show. It was amazing.
No, I'm not being. You did not even say that I was in
You are
contempt.
in direct.
Yeah. And now trying to tell the judge, you can't say that I'm in direct contempt of court. Literally trying to tell a judge, I do not respect your legal authority. This is the entitlement of these SJRs. That a judge says, I'm holding you in contempt of court, and this dumb fuck actually says, you can't hold me in contempt of court. Literally telling a judge, I don't accept your authority.
No, I'm not doing my stuff.
And he gets exactly what he deserves.
Do not hurt me. Do not hurt me.
Face plant right in the
Do
ground.
not. Are you throwing me over this?
Stop resisting.
I'm not resisting.
Okay.
Somebody go on Iron Run. Please, get a female officer now. Get a female officer now. Get a female officer now.
And by the way, this is so funny. He's supposedly a lawyer, thinking that he's entitled to have a female officer be the one to arrest him. Won't work that way, Chief. Doesn't matter if the officer is male or female. When you're getting arrested, the gender of the officer don't fucking matter. You can request a female officer for the search, but when you're getting arrested, you don't get to choose who arrests you, dumb fuck. Oh yeah, I'm sure he probably got charged with resisting too. He got charged for contempt, and I'm guessing he probably got charged for resisting as well.
What can I say, kids? These people are nothing if not predictable. Why are you calling for a woman here, friend? Why would that be? But look, as loopy as it is here in the United States and Australia and Britain and basically every other Western country, nowhere is as insane as Canada, where it seems their descent into lunacy is getting more and more extreme by the day.
And one thing I do think I need to point out. So what we're seeing, what Sydney's about to talk about with Canada, this is predominantly central Canada and British Columbia. Central Canada, namely Ontario and British Columbia, are basically the hubs of this SJR nonsense. Quebec has its own distinct shade of fucked up, no question. They absolutely do. But all of this SJR bullshit that we've been seeing coming out of Canada, especially with the pronoun shit, that is predominantly in like Ontario and like British Columbia. So it's kind of like, you know, how in the States it's centered in like New York and California right now. That's kind of like the centralized hubs for the SJR insanity that you're seeing in America, it's basically the same in Canada, where it's centralized in, effectively speaking, Ontario and British Columbia, where this SJR insanity is located. It's again, it's not the whole province, it's the major cities. Just like, New York, it's predominantly New York City, not New York State, predominantly speaking. And California, it's predominantly in LA and like San Diego, not the entirety of the state for the most part. The same applies to Canada. So it's like, it is like siloed off in these, like, basically the most densely populated areas is where we are seeing this batshit insanity with these SJRs, with their fucking pronouns and their, and all of this other nonsense. So that to basically put the finer point on it, because like what we're about to see with the NDP here, pretty sure this got held in Ontario. Probably it may have been actually in Toronto itself. And so like the Plains provinces, Alberta, of course, is working on their vote to separate from Canada, Manitoba, Northwestern Territories, Saskatchewan, Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI. Basically, it's only Central and BC where you're basically seeing what we are about to see. Basically, the entire rest of the country is not like this. The rest of the country is just like, we do not fucking care about your pronouns. We're just living our lives. We care more about being able to survive, like, financially versus what your fucking pronouns are. So just contextually here, bear that in mind as we're about to go through this. No, Newfoundland is not like this. Trust me. Newfoundland is not like this.
I always thought you
Especially
guys were
the
just
outports.
apologetic snow Australians. What is happening over there? Long-term dwellers here on our Hell Gondola know that I have relentlessly made fun of the acronyms that lots of Canadian politicians use literally in Parliament.
It's a time to celebrate the 2S LGBTQI plus community.
For 2S LGBTQI plus people in Canada.
The 2S LGBTQ.
Which this entire acronym should not exist. Again, I will reiterate. This one and the other one that we're about to hear, the entire acronym should go away and should not exist. Because this basically, the 2S is two-spirit, which is not a sexual identity. It's not a sexual preference and it's not a sexual identity. So two-spirit means you're schizophrenic. That's what that means. So this should be gone. LGBT, I know there's people that say T shouldn't be in here. I'm actually fine. Yes, exactly. Two-spirit is not real. It was completely invented to make people feel like they're special snowflakes. Oh god, yeah. Oh god, I didn't even see the fat end villain. You're right. Oh, look at this freak show back here. Like this is what I'm talking about. Like look at the freak show brigade back here. This is what I'm talking about. They're we need to stop lauding this as being normal. Well, honestly, like I actually went into this. The bulk entirety of this acronym should go away. All of it. Every fucking letter. The acronym should not exist anymore. Because LG is the same fucking thing. L is lesbian, G is gay. It is the same fucking thing. Bi, sure, it makes maybe its own thing. T for trans, like, okay, whatever. But literally, the LG should go away. Entirely. Just make a G. If you really want to put into an acronym, put in for G. I know they use G for gay men. I realize that. But guess what? Gay also covers women too. Okay? If you are a lesbian, that means you're gay. So you can get rid of the L. You have gay and you have bi as sexual preferences. Literally, the only thing in here for sexual preferences is gay and bi, and that's it. Trans is sexual identity, and all the rest is mental illness. Two-spirit, mental illness. You're schizophrenic. You're not special. You need to be in a mental institution. Queer, that is just a generalized term to basically say, I'm a special snowflake. That's what Q is for queer. It literally just means I'm a special snowflake and I want to be treated special. That's it. I is intersex. That is a medical issue. That is not a That is not something that is like, it's not a sexual identity. It's not a sexual preference. It's a medical condition. Get it the fuck out of here. And plus is literally opening the door for everyone to literally go, I am a special snowflake. I want to be treated like a special snowflake because I'm a loser. I know I'm a loser. I hate being a loser and I want to feel special. So I'm going to say I'm a plus just so I can feel special. That's all this is. These are a bunch of attention whores that are because their mommies and daddies didn't love them enough, or they feel like their mommies and daddies didn't love them enough because they want everything and they don't want to give anything back in return. And like all of them, like the whole thing needs to go away. The entire acronym in its entirety needs to disappear. It needs to absolutely disappear. It should not exist. The only thing that, like, because remember, this started with LGBT. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, because people were basically oh God, what's the word? Prejudice. People were prejudiced. Back in the 80s and maybe the 90s, people were prejudiced against gay people. Back in the 80s and the 90s, so you had the LGBT community formed as sort of a communal like group. Because people who are gay and the whole HIV thing, the stereotyping, prejudicial against them. T got added in there a little bit later. But again, and something to bear in mind, gay acceptance and even trans acceptance were at their height in the early 2000s. Okay? Gay and trans acceptance were at their pinnacle in the early 2000s, where people were cool with it. As long as you were not an asshole, as long as you didn't try to harm anyone, as long as you didn't try to shove anything down people's throats, either ideologically or otherwise, society was cool with it. You will like the LGBT individuals will not see any better for a long time than what they had it at like 2005. 2005 was the pinnacle of acceptance. And then they let the activists in. They started opening it up to more people that wanted to feel special. So they said, yeah, of course, come on in. And they started bringing in more people and more people and more people. And the activists started infiltrating it. And just like with every other organization, like Black Lives Matter, it got co-opted by activists, by communists that want the government to give them fucking everything. And they basically destroyed the entire movement. The activists flat out destroyed the entire movement, and now it's been downhill ever since. And now people that are actually gay or trans, and by I say actually, meaning normal fucking people that just want to live normal lives, not be treated special, and just be treated like decent human beings, they are the minority now because the communist activists have taken over. And this is why I've said that gay people, bi people, I'm sorry, nobody cares about bi people. That's, the reality is, if you say you're bi, nobody cares. Point blank. Nobody gives a shit if you're bi. Gay people, realistically, nobody gives a shit about that anymore either. Trans people, you need to gatekeep. Legitimate trans people, you need to start fucking gatekeeping. You need to start basically calling out the anaphylacts and say, they are not trans. They're not one of us. You need, like trans people especially in this day and age, you need to fucking gatekeep. Okay? Get away from Pride. Pride is now co-opted. Pride is now an activist organization that has nothing to do with being about LGBT. They want nothing to do with that. They want to indoctrinate and basically mutilate children. You need to step away from Pride. Fuck Pride. And you need to gatekeep. And basically, when you see these activist freak shows like we're about to see, you need to publicly say, they're not one of us. We do not endorse them. We do not ascribe to them. We don't want anything to do with them. You need to literally start gatekeeping this, so people do not associate you with these freak shows. And they are freak shows. Make no mistake. They are mentally ill freak shows.
Community.
Tremendous. This monstrosity is to refer to the LGBT community and all of its many offshoots, including the people in the plus column. I love that for them. But today
Which is
I learned that
undefined.
this acronym has actually been expanded, because I guess it doesn't.
No, they accepted them because, unfortunately, they erroneously basically were just like about what they were accepting all of these, you know, activist people, or they just basically opened the door for anybody to come in and feel special because they basically they were trying to be, effectively speaking, kind and inclusive. Like, I think they opened the door for anybody that they wanted, for anybody that, you know, wanted to basically, you know, be a part of this group because they felt different. I legit think that it was initially done with intentions of basically just, I wouldn't call it toxic positivity. It did morph into that without question. It absolutely did morph into toxic positivity. It's kind of like, you know, I think they basically have the same mentality that I do for you guys. You know how I say, like, my, you know, you guys are my strays because, you know, people that are lost and alone and looking for somewhere to basically be with other people, to feel, you know, be supported by other people, to feel welcomed and included in everything. And that's why I call you the strays. I think that the LGBT groups initially, I think that they basically opened it up to more people for that same reason. So I think I feel that they initially did it with good intentions, but very, very, very quickly, it spiraled out of control. The activists got in charge, and it just went to hell in a handbasket in 2.5 seconds. Yes, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, kind of thing. Yes. I do believe that's how all of this started, with all of these insane asylum escapees co-opting the LGBT groups. That's my feeling, and that's why I say they need to start gatekeeping. Absolutely, they do. They need to kick out all of the mental asylum patients, and they need to start gatekeeping.
Include enough people. During this press conference from early April 2026, like literally just a few days ago, several Canadian figures, including a very left-wing politician named Leah Gazan, spoke about missing Indigenous women and girls, which I agree is a genuine problem and very worthy of serious attention. But then they go on to say things like this.
They provided $0 to deal with the ongoing genocide of MMIW G2S LGBTQIA+.
And there it is. This is what I'm talking about, the co-opting. This woman and people like her are literally taking what used to be about sexual identity and sexual preference, and they're co-opting it even further to forcibly inject missing, murdered Indigenous women and girls. That's what the IWG part is. Missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, which is a real thing. It is a tragedy that the Indigenous people, Indigenous women and girls of Canada have, that they are treated this way, that they have been treated this way. It is an issue that Canada has contended with for many years, and it is horrible what is happening to these women and girls, absolutely. But do you see what they're doing? They're now co-opting it into the popular acronym and forcibly inserting the missing, murdered Indigenous women and girls into LGBT because that's become a disgustingly powerful movement. And so now they're co-opting it for their own purposes. Again, only proving that, number one, the entire acronym needs to fuck off completely.
I wonder how long she practiced to say that without tripping over her. It's tongue and with a straight face.
She probably had to practice it a lot. But this is why I say the entire acronym goes away. Who funds this? Probably government to some degree. I have zero doubt the government to some degree funds this. Without question. And I'm sorry, like, the missing and murdered Indigenous girls, yes, I do believe that there should be funding for basically addressing this, helping these women and girls. That I absolutely do. I'm all for. for the indigenous population, women and girls that are basically abused or have horrible things done to them. I absolutely think that you should fund efforts to address that without question. But now you're co-opting the LGBT movement and basically trying to take it for yourself. And now it's basically been twisted into this disgusting monstrosity that is completely unrecognizable of what it used to be back in the 80s and 90s. And it needs to all go away. The entire thing needs to go away. Pride needs to go away. This entire acronym needs to go away. All of it needs to fuckity bye. Every fucking bit of it needs to fuckity bye. Because it's dead. Nobody takes it seriously. And basically people are looking at it in the same view as communism. Like the entire, like the activists of the LGBT movement, or I'm not even going to say the whole acronym, but the activists that basically have co-opted it are basically communists, and they're trying to basically, they're forcibly trying to take over countries with communism. And it's starting to work in Canada, and that's fucking terrifying. That Canada is starting to turn into a communist country. That is legit fucking terrifying.
This is abhorrent.
For those who may have missed it, let's hear that again.
MMIW G2SLGBTQQIA+.
MMIW G2SLGBTQQIA+.
Yeah, no clearer that time. This acronym stands for, and I have to read it from my computer because I don't have this committed to memory, Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women, Girls, and Two-Spirit, Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, Queer, Questioning.
Yeah, that's the new one. That's another one that they put it. Questioning. Again, shouldn't be in. It should not be included. This is again of what happens when, kind of like with borders, when you just fling them the fuck open and say, everybody in, come on in, and you have the dumbest, most insane people that are jumping on the bandwagon. Yeah. It's like, there's, I think at one point there was an ally one in there too. I don't know if it's still in there or not. I think asexuals are in there too. Like, again, this is nothing but a bunch of dumb fucking snowflakes saying I'm special and I want to feel special and you will recognize that I'm special. That's literally all this is nothing more than this. If anybody tries to tell you otherwise, they're coping like crazy or they're fucking insane. This is nothing but a bunch of people that are saying, treat me special because my mommy and daddy said I'm special, and that's it. There's no legitimacy. There's absolutely zero legitimacy to it anymore. It has not been legitimate for probably at least 2 decades.
Intersex and asexual plus. Yeah. How did all of this get lumped together? And what is questioning? And why is asexual in there? I also really enjoy how they added the plus at the end there, just in case they miss someone. It's just so thoughtful. Yeah. So they're talking about missing women and murdered women, which again is a legitimately serious topic. And somehow, through the course of that, they have to reference a bunch of sexualities and people who are questioning and
no, it's no, what they're like. Yeah, they're jumping on the most powerful bandwagon right now. Yeah, basically, yeah, everyone who isn't white, male, or straight, and even female, basically everyone who you can actually it'd be female too. So it's basically everyone who isn't white or straight. That's it. That's literally it. If you are white and if you are straight, you don't matter anymore. Both male and female, honestly. Realistically, now I know there's like some like the dichotomy with like fit with women and everything like that, but literally it's if you are it's if you are white and straight, you're not allowed, which you should be fine with because you do not want to be involved with these people in any way, shape, or form because they are a cult, they are communists, and their entire purpose is to destroy society, flat the fuck out. Gay people, you need to get away from these folks. Trans people, legitimate trans people, you need to get the fuck away from these folks. All the rest of them are mental patients and should probably all be put into mental institutions and be evaluated and treated by professionals. And not the kind of professionals that do self-fulfilling prophecies or basically enable that. Like we need them to be like treated by actual professionals that will actually challenge their bullshit, delusions and tell them you are delusional. You need to wake the fuck up. That's what these people need. They need actual therapists, actual psychologists telling them you are fostering a delusion. It is not real. Wake the fuck up, samurai.
Not attracted to anybody or don't have any sort of sexual interest. How are these two things related? I'm not even kidding. There's actually another woman who speaks here, and at the end of her little part, she references gender diverse family members of the women who have gone missing.
Indigenous women, girls, and gender diverse relatives are put in.
So men are no longer men, according to this thing. They're gender diverse. You can't even be so apparently, according to this woman, you can't even be a man anymore. You have to be gender diverse. Fuck you, lady. Fuck you. You say man. If you can't say man, you don't get to be in a position of authority. Flat out. If you are not able to say man and you have to change it to gender diverse, that means you're trying to do an insurrection in Canada of communism. You need to be out of your job and probably in prison.
In harm's way every day by the actions of this government.
There's just so much irony to unpack here, especially around the issue of, the trans movement and the erasure of women. And, Canada, I don't know what you guys are doing, but I actually cannot understand how you have risen to this level of identity politics. Are you okay?
MMIWG2SLGBTQ.
Central and Western Canada is not okay.
Compared to a massively leftist conference that took place a few weeks ago. And it's probably pretty obvious based on appearance alone, but this was...
This hobbit. Look at her. She looks like a hobbit. She no, she doesn't look like a Vulcan. She looks like a hobbit. It's Bilbo Fuckins. Like, what the fuck?
Chaired by a person called Adrienne Smith, who believes themselves
and of course
to
she
be
got the lesbo
they,
side part haircut.
So, there is that.
Wait,
believes themselves to be a they, them. So, there is that. I'm pretty sure you can see what Adrienne Smith is, but that's just worth noting for the purposes of this video.
We're on...
Yeah, and by the way, this, by all rights, this should tank the NDP. This should, like, the non-democratic party is a major political party in Canada. This should tank the NDP. Like, even liberals should be looking at this and going, the fuck is wrong with you? Granted, liberals are probably backing them. Like, there needs to be... I don't really do politics. I don't like politics, but I'm sorry, at this point, there needs to be a massive resurgence for the Conservative Party to basically put the NDP and the Liberals out of commission. There really does. Yeah, that's why I kind of backtracked when I started saying what the Liberals would think about it. I said, no, actually, they probably back them. No, there needs to be a massive conservative resurgence in Canada. They need to put the NDP and the Liberals, they need to put them out of commission. They really do, because both of them are destroying Canada. Yeah, I mean, the Bloc splits the vote, unfortunately, and, like, the Bloc and Conservatives need to get together and basically form an alliance. They really do. They like the Bloc Québécois and the Conservatives absolutely need to come together, form an alliance, and take down the NDPs and the Liberals. It is the only way possible that Canada is going to pull itself out of this pit that it has dug itself into. If they don't, it's only going to get deeper and it's only going to get worse.
Sure you can see what Adrienne Smith is, but that's just worth noting for the purposes of this video.
We are on stolen Indigenous land, and the majority of people who are experiencing homelessness in the...
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. I am so sick of hearing that. Literally, I've mentioned this before. Literally, every public speaking event in Canada always begins with basically a fucking apology tour of we're on stolen indigenous land. We recognize we're on stolen indigenous land. I'm fucking tired of it. When I was back in Newfoundland, I went to a meeting in regards to the person in my family who has autism. I went to a meeting of the Autism Society to basically see what the Autism Society could do, what services they offer and stuff for the person in my family who has autism. You know how they started? We recognize that we're on stolen and indigenous land, and in my brain I was going, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody fucking cares. Like, they need to this constant apologizing, constantly doing an apology tour needs to fucking end. Okay? The indigenous people, like the Canadians that came over from the UK, took Canada, and it basically took the land from the indigenous people like a couple hundred years, like about 150 years ago. Something like that. I can't remember exactly when the UK basically took over Canada exactly, but it was like 150 years ago. Okay, it's been a century. Get over it. Climb down off the cross, use the wood to build a bridge, and get the fuck over it. It's 250-ish. Okay, same day. Even worse. Like, this needs to fucking stop. If all you're going to do is apologize, then I tell you what, every fucking person that wants to apologize and say, we recognize we're on stolen land, give your home up to an indigenous person. Guarantee they won't. The minute you say to them, okay, you recognize you're on stolen non-indigenous land, cool, trade places with an indigenous person. You give an indigenous family your home, and you go live where they are. Go for it. Fucking go for it. And they never will. Why? Because it's all virtue signaling. It's all, I want to show that I want to pretend like I care. I want to pretend like this is something that's important for clout. Effectively speaking, it's I believe in current thing, and I'm gonna pretend like I believe in it. And welcome Raiders, welcome Starcat, welcome in. I'm raging. Get ready for more.
These countries are lands in which we are inhabiting.
You guys are going to perish when you see these other clips. You know, if you haven't already, just strap in, because we haven't seen leftism like this in quite a long time. I almost missed it.
Thank you, Abuelo.
So in late March 2026, a political party in Canada called the New Democrats, also known as the NDP, because P stands for party, hosted a convention for their members, activists, and progressives. On the website, it says they are coming together to debate ideas, celebrate their shared values, and help shape the future of their movement.
They don't want to debate.
It's just so beautiful. So
wait
together
for it
and whatnot. When I was writing this video, I actually hit up a friend of mine who lives in Canada, the poor soul, and I was like, hey, you know, what is this party? Like, what's it all about? And he...
I wonder if she means Nux. Because she and Nux do talk. And, well, Nux is in America. He's from Canada. So he would know. And when he moved to America, I'm pretty sure the NDP was still a thing. So I'm wondering if this person she's talking about is him.
He said, and I quote, "The NDP party is basically if the gender studies department became a political party." And honestly, from what I've seen, I can't disagree.
Sounds about right.
Progressives gather together and do dumb crap all the time. The reason why these clips from this conference went super viral is because of their equity-based speaking system and the cards that they have to hold in order to do the speaking. I will...
Well, okay, Nux online and Nux offline, from what you guys have told me, are two very different personalities. He has a personality when he's streaming, and he has a different personality when he is not streaming. So, yeah, the cards. We're about to get victim cards. We are about to get literal victim cards. Buckle up.
System and the cards that they have to hold in order to do the speaking. I will explain.
There's a point of privilege on microphone 1.
That's my point of privilege.
Point of personal privilege.
In short, people get given little colored cards that allow them to advance up the speaker line to the microphone if they lack privilege. You know, if they identify as trans or two-spirit or they're a woman or a bag of potato chips. The trouble was this very quickly devolved because they could not stop bickering about who had more or less privilege than each other.
Take the opportunity to
adjust the equity card systems, which I understand is a rule that's already adopted. But given that we're dealing with human rights and Canadian identity, it seemed like the appropriate time. So I apologize for interrupting this resolution, but I have suggested wording for the equity card system, if we can hear that.
Dude.
He's upset about the wording on his victim card. Think about that. He had to come up to the microphone and complain about the wording on their victim cards. How is this a thing? How is this party even a thing?
This is consistently who we are up against, and somehow we lose to them.
There's a point of privilege on microphone 1, then we'll go to microphone 3. Go ahead, delegate.
Yes, hello. I was standing here with my gender equity card before you called on the previous speaker. That's my point of privilege that I would like to raise.
I will explain this.
Literally just called for a point of privilege to bitch and moan of, I was here first. This is third grade bullshit. This entire party is a bunch of fucking third graders. It is fucking pathetic. They should not exist. This party literally should not exist. They are third graders pretending to be adults.
Speaking order which is fixed that I cannot amend, which is the pro-con rotation. You can move yourself up a line that you're standing in.
I am pro, and I was...
We went...
You went pro, con,
we went pro, and my plan was to go con. The speaker at con mic 3 also has a speaking card.
I am not going to lie. I genuinely have no idea what's happening here. I guess the girl at the microphone is mad and is venting to the they them, who's the speaker, conference speaker, because a man spoke before her. Maybe? Although I'm not sure. How? And why?
Yesterday, this card was used in an inappropriate manner. And while I understand in Ontario we note this as equity, even if that, this was also used inappropriate in terms of gender. I want everyone to be mindful that these cards for individuals like myself who identify as a Black woman have no value outside of this space.
I quite honestly
These people are just identifying themselves as individuals that you should never listen to. That they have no brain, that they all belong in insane asylums, and their word means nothing. Good day.
Honestly, never thought I would see the day where a leftist convention would quite literally give out victim cards. So that's something. Although I think the more important commentary here is that these
point
people
of privilege, I declare nah.
Even figure it out in their own environment. How the hell are they supposed to run a country? I am
point
so
of privilege,
fatigued.
I say no
Let's hear
takey
the
back
point
piece.
on microphone 1.
I'm sorry, just real quick, point of personal privilege. I understand there's very little time and for delegates to speak, but early on the mic, it's hard as a racialized and transgender delegate to sometimes use this card and speak up, speak to somebody in front of me in line and ask, hey, this pertains to multiple intersecting parts of my lived experience. I'd like to speak. I was rejected when I talked, and it's frustrating when these are my rights being directly under attack right now in Alberta, and that a cisgender woman.
Oh, honey, you're gonna want to get the fuck out of Alberta real fast. You are going to want to leave that province immediately, because if they're successful in separating from Canada, you're done. Your privilege fucking ends the moment they are actually able to succeed in separating from Canada. Okay? So that right there, I will just issue a notice of advisement to this person. You're gonna want to move, as in now. This person is from Alberta. And as soon as they are able to separate from Canada, all of the privilege that she has been receiving will instantaneously vaporize. Absolutely fucking vaporize. And no one's gonna give a shit about your privilege anymore.
Had spoken over me.
Oh no, a cisgender woman, a biological woman spoke over you, did she? How terrible. Nay, how offensive. What kind of society are we living in where the actual woman gets to speak over the man doing the cosplay? This is terrible. Who signed up for this? How dare she? Send her to the stockade, they, them.
I will invite delegates to assist me in better using the card by forming a straight line behind.
Yeah, you saw that. You saw that. Oh, you saw that. Uh-huh. Nothing like being prejudiced against straight people by a representative of your political party. Uh-huh. Wait, could have just said it, form a straight line, and not reacted at all, but of course, she had to roll her fucking eyes and basically prove that if you are straight, your voice means nothing. That is what, that is basically, just basically told all of Canada that the NDP party is prejudiced against straight people, and if you are straight, your voice doesn't count. You as a straight person do not count as a lawful citizen in Canada by the NDP. Fucking the whole party should go away. The whole party should go the fuck away. Because they are going to be prejudiced against the majority denomination of people in Canada. Sorry, they are not allowed to be a political party. They need to go the fuck away.
The microphone with a prominently displayed equity card. If I see speakers ahead of you who are not holding a card prominently, it would be wrong of me to guess about their gender identity, and I will come to you. This applies so far, according to your rules, for gender identities other than a dude.
Now, obviously, we clearly have all this bickering over the privilege cards, but by far my favorite clip to come out of all of this is a woman in a headscarf who is doing that.
She isn't in a headscarf. She has a keffiyeh around her neck. Miscusi.
Slam poetry way of speaking that progressives like to employ. You guys know what I'm talking about. And this
yeah, other than a
accidentally
dude. Again, so the NDP is prejudiced against men as well. Great to know. Great to know. Yeah, if you are a Canadian voter, basically you need to vote Conservative. Every single sane Canadian voter in the country needs to vote Conservative on fucking everything. Literally at this point, like every election, you need to vote Conservative and basically get as many Conservatives into office as possible to basically shut down the NDP and the Liberals. You need to do it. Bloc Québécois and Conservatives, you need to get the fuck together and form a coalition to take down these other two parties.
Refers to the they, them as a madam. And you guys know the rules. We can't have that.
Canada cannot and will not be part of the legacy of blood that was built in Iraq, in Palestine, and now in Iran. This is a no-question debate. I call this question.
What about the government of Iran and the Khomeini that basically is trying to foster genocide against its own people? Are we gonna again, of course, they're SJRs, so they will very conveniently ignore the fact that Iran's own government was slaughtering tens of thousands of its own people, that the entire region is literally nothing but, as Asmongold would say, a giant fucking PvP server, and has been for a millennia. Of course, they're going to forget about that and just blame the U.S. and blame Canada for causing harm to a region that has literally been slaughtering one another for 1,000 years. Because, of course, these people don't care about facts. That's the thing. These people do, they don't care about facts. They basically just want the government to take care of them. These are people that I'm jumping on current thing that I support for clout because I want to feel special, and I also want the government to take care of me for everything. I don't want to ever have to work again. The government should take care of me for everything.
Adam and chairs. Thank you.
By the way, she's an idiot. She has no idea what she's talking about. This woman has no clue.
Well made, Speaker. I'll again
no, it's not.
thank
It's
delegates
lies.
not to
The point is not well made. It's full of lies.
call me Madam Chair or Madame la Présidente. I'm a non-binary person. My pronouns are they.
And goodbye. You should be immediately ejected from any position that you hold. You say I'm a non-binary person. I'm they then. Goodbye. You are not of right mind. You have a mental disability. You're a mental health problem that would preclude you from holding any kind of public office. Goodbye. See ya. We'll put a sane person in your place that actually understands what reality is like. GTFO, please.
Them and their chair is sufficient.
I also have to mention this moment that is also too stupid for
Oh my
words, but following
God.
a tribute video dedicated to the NDP's former leader, a lad called Jagmeet Singh, they demanded to know whose idea it was to make this video and how much money and conference time was wasted on it.
My name is Nicholas Torno. I come from Kingston in the Islands. My pronouns are he, they. And I have a question about the video we just watched, the tribute to Jagmeet Singh. I want to know how much money it costs. I want to know how much time it wasted out of the convention. And I want to know who decided on it.
If you...
Honestly? Despite the fact that he's mentally ill? That's a good question. I gotta say, taking his mental illness aside, that's actually a very good question. How much money did how much time and money did the NDP spend on making that bullshit, tribute video? Finally, a good question. And of course he's getting booed. Because of course he's getting booed. Because he's basically, what have I always said? Remember what I've always said. The moment you goose step a millimeter out of line, they will devour you. I've told you guys this. I tell you guys this all the time. They will eat you in an instant if you step a millimeter out of line. It will always happen. This is a universal truth. That if you basically give in to these people, the instant you go even slightly out of line, they will eat you. They will destroy you. Every single time, without fail, it is a universal truth.
Can believe it. Tolerance was not the response here. Well, that's because he's a white man. But instead, another female delegate steps up to the mic, declaring this comment as wholly unacceptable and harmful because brown people, I guess. I don't know. Don't ask me.
On a personal point of privilege, that comment that was just made is absolutely unacceptable. I'm in my house of party.
I don't care. Your
where
words
I
mean
belong
nothing.
as a racialized person, and we paid a tribute that is incredibly fitting for an incredible leader.
Oh, yeah, you paid tribute to a foreign invader to the country. And you're upset that someone wanted to know how much it cost to put together a tribute video for a foreign invader to the country. Cool, I don't care. Your words mean nothing.
And that comment is so harmful in this space.
The most interesting thing about this clip occurs here at the end when this woman specifically highlights that their dear leader, quote unquote, looks like us and fights for us while demanding people show more respect. What is this? North Korea? But this woman and plenty of people like her are actually hypocrites of the worst kind. They want leadership to look just like them, while they would call any white person dangerously racist for making the exact same statement. You aren't allowed to feel proud of your heritage or appearance as a white individual, yet everyone else is entitled and even encouraged to make their race the center of their identity.
Which is why everything they say should be ignored. These people that basically say, I have culture and you don't because you're white, every single one of them should be ignored. Every one of them. They do not listen to a thing that they say, and they are not going to make any salient points. They should not be put in charge of literally anything. They should be putting the fries in the bag. They want to do a job? Cool. You can put the fries in the bag. You can bring the carts in from the cart corral outside. That's what they can do. They should not be allowed any form of authority whatsoever because they're mentally ill. They are mentally not capable of being able to be in charge of anything other than maybe a fry station.
Not for you though, Whitey. You need to go in the pit. You are bad. All the time. No exceptions. It's sort of funny because their idea of diversity stops at skin color, and all of the tribalism that guides everything that these people do is so front and center that it actually dictates what kind of leaders they like, what policies they have, what ideas they support. It is no wonder that we have ended up here. But again, if a white person were to feel this way and, God forbid, articulate it, they would be shamed into the darkest recesses of some cave system somewhere.
Only if they allow it. That is a key point of distinction there. What Sydney just said is, if a white person said this, they would be shamed into the abyss. That would only happen if you allowed that. If you as a white person say something and you're not like being racist, you're not being, istophobic or anything, and you're just making you're asking very basic questions, you're making very basic points, you're using logic in your words, and they try to shame you, don't let them. Shame only works if you allow yourself to be shamed. So if people call you an istophobe and you're not being one, and you know that you're not, just say, I don't care. And again, what have I said? What have I told you guys when someone basically comes up to you and basically you get in a discussion with someone and they start pulling out the istophobia shit? What have I always told you to do? Just go, I win, and walk away. Because they'll try to shame you, but if you have nothing to be ashamed for, they can't shame you. If you do not allow them to shame you, you can't be shamed. It's as simple as that. Like, this is mind games. They've been able to mind game so many people. If you break the brainwashing and simply just go, I don't care, they've got nothing. The shaming doesn't work if you tell them point blank, I don't fucking care. They can't come back from it. They'll and scream and everything. But if you just say, I don't care. You can't talk like that. Why? Well, because I find it offensive. I don't care. There's nothing that they can do. There's nothing they can do to you if you look at them and simply just say, I don't fucking care. You're not going to shame me because I don't care. There is quite literally nothing that they can do.
Some social cave system, maybe. But it's fine for everybody else because they are fighting for their minority group. They are fighting for their very survival. Despite the fact that some of these people are from global groups that number in the billions. The thing is, obviously, it is
where
fun
they get
to have
their
a
money
laugh
from.
At these people and the things that they do and say because it's so foreign to the rest of us. It's so absurd to prioritize listening to people purely based on who they are or how they identify or whatever. But I can't help but notice, not even notice, but want to point out to the rest of you how many people are in these rooms and how many people are participating in these conferences. And just think about how many people on the day-to-day defend this sort of thing, how many people discuss this on social media in a positive light, and how many of these people have made their way into actual positions of power and authority.
That's the scary part. They need to be taken, they need to be removed.
Gavin Newsom's wife. Have you guys seen those clips?
I've given our boys dolls, even if they tear the head off. I've given them dolls to learn that care and caregiving is not just an activity that's reserved for women, but that it's also an activity that is a responsibility of men. What I've done with...
Yeah, she's basically raising her children to be cuckolds. She's raising her children to be little bitches, and I pray to God that these kids actually have good role models outside of their home, because Newsom and his wife are not raising good children. They're raising them to be weak-minded, so they're not going to be able to function in society. So I just pray to God that they have some kind of role models outside of the home to give them a proper upbringing.
Both my daughters and my sons is, if I'm reading a book and the protagonist is a male, I just change the he to a she.
And now we're talking about child abuse. Now we're literally talking about child abuse, because you're basically teaching your children that men are bad. You're teaching them to. She is teaching her children to self-loathe by doing that. She's basically going to raise her boys to hate being boys. And gee, I wonder what that's going to lead to. When these boys get to be in their teenage years, what are the chances that she's going to try and push them to become trans? That's the route that we're going right now. We're going the route where when they reach like in their mid-teen years, that she's going to probably try and push them. Like, don't you actually feel like girls? Don't you actually want to be pretty? You don't want to be ugly boys, right? Don't you want to be pretty? Cool, let's go see this doctor to inject dangerous chemicals into your veins and forcibly transition you and fuck your head up so that maybe one day you're going to go psycho and start harming people. That's where this is leading to. This is disgusting. Child Services needs to pay this place a visit.
And it just normalizes for my sons in particular. I don't even just do it for my girls. I do it for my sons because I want them to see that women can be the center of a story.
What's so hard to wrap my head around is
there are women-centric, there are buttloads of women-centric stories. If you need to see, here's where her logic fails and showcases that she's lying. There are a buttload of children's stories that are centralized around a female protagonist. There are plenty out there. The fact that she's picking a story specifically to change the male protagonist into female showcases the diabolical nature of what she's doing to her sons. If she wanted to tell her children a child story with a female lead, there are more than enough out there for her to choose from. But she's specifically choosing one that has a male protagonist or a male lead specifically to change the gender on it to teach her children man bad, and thus they should hate themselves. It's fucking disgusting.
Whatever reason, maybe it's suicidal empathy, maybe it's, I don't know,
Unless
maybe
she was
it's
mad about her
guilt or
son
shame,
listening
or
to
I don't
Andrew
know
Tate.
what's going on in the Canadian population, but these insane people have a lot of power and a lot of influence, and a lot of what they want gets instituted by government policy, in government policy. Yep. Now I can't speak, I'm becoming one of them. The same Canadian friend who said that this party is like one giant gender studies circle jerk also told me just recently that a man in Canada, also just recently, was ordered to pay $750,000 because of his public comments opposing transgender clinics. Almost $1 million for his opinion. And you want to know the literal...
That's fascism. That's fascism. Canada is going into fascism. That because he objected to something, he now has to pay $750,000. That's flat out fucking fascism. Right there.
Wording that was handed down to this man. He has to pay this money for injury to the affected party's dignity, feelings, and self-respect.
Hell.
This is actually mad. His comments were not remotely offensive, just by the way. Not that it actually matters if they were, because you can't prosecute people based on hurt feelings. But putting that aside, what he said was actually fairly common sense stuff that the vast majority of us, at least on this channel, would likely agree with. Anyway, totally horrendous. I am actually quite shocked that that didn't get more media attention, particularly here in the States.
Kidding.
Admittedly, I just found out about it, and now I'm telling all of you, so hopefully you'll go and tell other people, because it's just, that is just crazy to me. But to the point, back to the point of the points of personal privilege and whatnot, this nonsense absolutely happens as well in the United States, and I am positive that some of you have even seen it yourselves over the years.
It's true. They also
I have showed you.
And she's worried about this, and it's like, I'm like, we can dunk on Canada. I'm dunking on Canada, absolutely. But this is why I said this is a global thing. It's not restricted to Canada. It's not restricted to the UK. It's not restricted to Spain. It's not restricted to France. It's in the US too. It's literally all over the entire Western world. Some places are worse than the other. Absolutely agree. But this has become a global crisis, and it is a crisis. If you don't think it's a crisis, You got to get your head out of the sand. It is absolutely a crisis against basically straight white people at this point. Globally, they're trying to basically, suppress straight white people and Christians throughout the entire planet. And if it's not nipped in the bud, if we don't get people into office that will basically turn this car around, we're going to go right into on a global scale. We are going to see global fascism. We really are. If we don't, this is why I say that you need to get out there and you need to vote in people that are going to turn this car around. Because no, I'm not going to advocate for a violent insurrection. Whomever's thinking that I'm going to call for violence on taking back the country, save your breath. Not going to do it. Save your arguments. Still not going to do it. You do it legally. You vote in the people that can turn this around. That's the method that we have right now to turn this around. Is you actually have to stop being apathetic about it. Get out there, get to the polls, and every poll. Go to your local elections. Go to your state elections. Go to the federal elections and vote in the people that actually will represent you properly and turn this fucking car around and get us back to sanity. And even if it means run yourself, if you are someone that can actually that actually has knowledge of how to function in government, local, state, federal, run yourself even. Get in there, make the change. Stop bitching about it, but actually get in and make that change.
I'm sure that many of you will remember a video that went viral ages ago from a socialist convention here in the States, where people also shouted about their points of personal privilege.
We remember this one, don't we?
Quick point of privilege. Quick point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Guys, first of all, James Jackson, Sacramento, he, him. I just want to say, can we please keep the chatter to a minimum? I'm one of the people who's very, very prone to sensory overload. There's a lot of whispering and chatter going on. It's making it very difficult for me to focus. Please, can we just, I know we're all.
Then go away. Then go away. If you can't, by the way, this guy's probably going to pretend like he's autistic. Just so you're aware. This guy is going to be one of these autistic pretenders, which you know what that does to me. GTFO. If you can't handle chatter and movement, fuckity bye. Leave. You're useless anyway, so GTFO, bub.
Fresh and ready to go, but can we please just keep the chatter to a minimum? It's affecting my ability to focus. Thank you.
Thank you, comrade.
Cool. Get it. Go away.
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Oh, fuck, Nate.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
No. You'll use gendered language, you don't like it, fuckity bye. Literally, every fucking one of these people there is coming up, whining and complaining, fuckity bye. Get out. Just get the fuck out. And yeah, she did say comrades. Yeah, I know. We've seen this before. This is old footage. We've watched this probably a year ago or something. We watched this and yeah, we said all this about the whole comrade thing back then too.
Okay.
This is exhausting.
First of all, in this room, I see that no one's clapping for me. It could be because I'm not engaging, but it also is because everyone's doing this. And that's really important because those loud bursts of noise, even though this is a noisy space, when we can do something like reducing that, that's really important. So please don't clap, shoot up these.
Fuck you. Fuck you for using people with autism, because that's why he's doing it. Guarantee. He's using autism as a shield, and I fucking hate this person because of it. Autism is not a skin suit for you to wear for privilege, you cock-gobbling thunder cunts. You take my fucking autism out of your goddamn mouth. End of story.
The thing that absolutely sends me to Jupiter about all of this, these conferences and whatnot, is that I don't know how the people participating here don't genuinely find this annoying and tiring and trying themselves. Like, I do not
I know why.
believe
Because they
for
want
a
to feel
second
special. It
that
makes them feel
deep
special.
down somewhere, when all of this is taking place and they've got to bicker with each other about who gets to talk and who doesn't and who's better than whomever and who's at the top of the oppression pyramid, they don't just have this thought that's just, this is somewhat stupid and I need it to stop. I like to believe that my political adversaries have it in them to realize how dumb things are and how this type of thing just doesn't work in practice. And
no, they don't, because you know why? Because right now they're actually succeeding. They don't think it's dumb. They think it's wonderful because it's succeeding. They're getting their people into positions of power. And when these people get into positions of power, they fuck things up for their enemies. So they're loving this. They absolutely know what they're doing, and they're loving every fucking moment of it.
maybe that's the little thread that they'll start to pull that will unravel their entire worldview. Anyway, and sort of unfortunately, outside of them realizing how silly all of this is, these people are actively shaping society into an intersectional mess that concerns itself more with who gets to speak first.
I'm sorry, it's not. They're shaping society into one of fascism. That's what they're doing. Their goal is to imprison anyone that does not share in their twisted, fucked up, insane worldview. That is the goal. If you don't think it's the goal, I'm sorry, you're an idiot. That is the end game. The end game is to get every one of them into power and then enact laws that will jail people that disagree with them and do not accept their insanity. That is the end game. UK is really fucking close. Okay? UK is really goddamn close, and Canada is literally right on its heels. And that's why I say you need to get to the polls and vote in people to turn this fucking ship around. Because otherwise, you will not be able to speak. You will lose the privilege and the right to speak. Because if you say the wrong thing, you will be in prison, probably for life.
Rather than who might have the best ideas or who might be able to bring useful things to the table. And it's so exhausting to listen to them whine and argue about the homeless and the gays and the transes and the furry spirit creatures and who got to speak before them, rather than any actual concern about the issues that they're actually discussing. Bottom line is that everyone here seems to get bogged down in this race to the bottom of victimhood. Now imagine a machine like that running the government. The government is already deeply and inherently inefficient. This would just make it infinitely worse. Ah yes, progress really includes giving people little colored bits of paper that tell them when they're allowed to speak. Yippee! I love progress. Yes, all of this is incredibly funny. It would be very hard not to have a laugh at this, but again, I come back to the fact that the problem is a lot of these people run for positions of power and authority, and a lot of them win.
These people haven't
because
aged
somehow
since
they
age
convince
6.
voters and other groups of people that all of this is great and works in practice and actually isn't divisive, which it really is at the end of the day. In the end, I do feel like woke has lost a lot of momentum and a lot of support because these people and these movements just burned everybody else out. But if these clips and if the missing and murdered girls and LGBT stuff is anything to go by, they are going to keep pressing forward no matter the cost. And if nothing else, this video lets you know that this crap is still happening and we can have a laugh about it together. Now on that note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder to check out Lions Tea Exchange, my little company, using the link in the description.
Elemental.
Unlike a lot of YouTubers, I genuinely do everything for my brand myself. I pack the orders. Now I have been putting the tea in the actual boxes and whatnot as well. I'm trying to bring a lot of manufacturing in-house, so just know that when you buy a box, obviously you support the company too, but you also support the channel, and it means a lot to me, and I love sharing this thing with you all. It makes my heart really happy, and I love your lovely feedback. That makes my day as well. Now I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? What do you make of the new acronym? The LGBT QQXY+++. Is it?
It should go away. That's what I think.
Silly to you? Do you think that that they've taken things a little bit too far this time? Do you think that this is kind of just where progressives are trending, and they're just going to get more and more absurd as time wears on because they haven't got the memo that all of this stuff is falling out of favor. Do you think, actually, on a serious note, that speaking like this and doing all of this kind of ruins the message, the meaningful message around helping Indigenous women or Native Canadian women who go missing and are murdered?
Nobody is going to take it
harmed?
seriously now.
And what do you think of that side of this issue? What do you
that in and of itself, yeah. By them basically cramming the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls into the LGBT, it basically destroys any credibility it has. Because now people are just going to say, oh, now you're just jumping on the most popular bandwagon, so nobody's going to take it seriously anymore, except for the insane brain trust that nobody gives a shit about anyway. So yeah, it actually harms it harms that legit movement in every way conceivable.
What do you think of the conference? What do you think of the speakers and the way that they all interact with each other and the points of privilege and the equity cards? Do you think that it's absolutely mad? Do you think that there's some level to it that's fair and reasonable? Do you just think we have gone too far, it's time for the asteroid, enough of this? And what do you generally make of this issue overall? As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you're not subscribed already and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, as well as leaving this video a like and a comment, because I do read the majority of them and I like hearing your feedback. Like I always say, my wonderful little chickadee people, I hope you stay safe and well and make good choices, because they are very, very important. And I will see your wonderful, beautiful little faces in the next video.
Holy crap. Well, I had a feeling I was going to go crazy on that one, and, well, I was right. We're in a bad place in the world. We are. And we aren't yet at the, despite how you may feel, we are not quite yet at the point of no return. You guys know what has to be done to get us turned around. That's, for right now, that's all we can do. I'm not going to say what the future may hold. The future may end up being horrific. I hope it never gets to that point. And to make sure it does not get to that point, you need to get out to the voting booths. You need to vote in people that can turn this ship around. That's what we can do.